Hey everybody, I'm Charlie. Welcome to Not Thursday. Where we're going today is out into the woods of New Hampshire to visit a location that was a legend known as Split Rock. It was an important place, piece of history, and part of the Underground Railroad. You're not going to want to miss this, so stay tuned. Alright, well, hey everybody, here we go. Today is going to be awesome. This is going to be interesting. And the way I like to do things on Not Thursday is tell a story. And this story is about some amazing history, but it also includes my story. When I first got hooked up with our local historical society, they asked me if I knew about Split Rock, which was pretty close to where I live. Apparently there was a location out here that was part of the Underground Railroad. If you've never heard of the Underground Railroad, well, it was a network and a system set up back in the late 1700s, but really got momentum early to mid 1800s as a way to help slaves, men, women, and children escape to free states like Canada and Nova Scotia. The routes ran in more remote locations, coming out of the south, heading north, up here through this section of New Hampshire. And the slavery abolishment movement started early up here in New England. These people were ahead of the curve on sensibility and compassion. And it was comprised of a lot of normal people who wanted to help people be free. These people fleeing to gain their freedom would travel most of the time in small packs, 2, 3, 4 people. They would travel by night, rest during the day, and as you can imagine, trying to stay as low-key as possible. Where I'm walking in right now is one of the old cart paths I had found last year. If you were following the SD channel, we found a site called the Silent Cellar Hole, and I did another couple episodes on walls and cart paths. Well, that goes right through here. And when I had found this spot many years ago, I could not read the land like I can now. And again, I've said this before, the more you explore, log it in your head, and build this big map, the more it makes sense. So as I'm making my way out, it's about a 25-minute hike. It's really just dense out here. When I first initially had found it, this split rock is huge, and you could not see it 30 feet away. The vegetation was so thick. Well, back to the collecting data and exploring and learning. I did a video on the SD channel last year about an abandoned house. One of my most favorite videos I've done because the location is special to me and really getting me interested in local history. Well, one thing that I didn't mention about that location is that also was part of the Underground Railroad. They actually called locations like that and Split Rock stations, or even way stations, just like they do in the railway business. Really remarkable how it worked. And another fascinating point is that the station masters didn't know too much further of information about, the next 2 or 3 stops beyond his local area. They wanted to keep that information safe, and you know how it is. The more people you tell, well, the less safe it is. So it's pretty fascinating that if somebody landed here and they referred to them as cargo, again, just more language from the actual railway system, they would message on ahead to be prepared to accept cargo. So that house, it's interesting that it's not more than a couple miles from here. I'm guessing if I had to walk it using the cart paths, which oddly enough cut right down to that side of town, it's about an hour. So I'm guessing that was actually what was considered a safe house, and Split Rock, where we're going to, kind of an emergency shelter situation to hide. we got to kind of wrap around here and head up. We're heading into there, but I'm not going to beeline it. We're going to go the way I went in many years ago. I haven't actually been up here in 6 or 7 years, but I know 2 or 3 years ago they logged all that up in there. So it's going to be interesting to see what it appears like now. That is, how exposed the location is and what the landscape looks like. We're almost there. Wow, just walking up to this, I'm inside an old square. This was definitely a cultivated little field, but when I was here years ago, that wasn't open. That was dark with growth, and it took me 3 months, because all I knew back then was just go out, walk, and grid back and forth before I could read the land. Wow, that is remarkable. Just stepping up onto this wall and looking out there, I can see it no problem. And it's kind of like when the Titanic became visible. I just got chills looking out there. Jeez, all right, well, time to get you out there. Well, this is what it's all about for me. History, the layers of time of things that took place in, like one location. Think about that. At one point in time, actually many points in time, they estimate that by 1850, something like 100,000 people had been freed and made their way to free states using the Underground Railroad. So at some point in time, there were people probably hiding out here. The legend has it that they would cover, the sides and the top, because it's a split rock, with brush. Think of that. Scared, no home, absolutely nothing but hope, faith. They called it the Promised Land. Heading north. It's definitely a completely different feeling seeing this entire pasture wide open now and this being exposed. It seems so, well, secretive and buried when I had found it, but now it's in the wide open. I guarantee anybody else who comes by here has absolutely no idea. And another reason why finding this was so special to me, it was kind of like my first mission for the Historical Society, to go out and relocate this, because several of the members had been here, but it had been some time. And they could only give me vague directions, so what my job was to do was go out, re-find it, and get GPS coordinates. So I was very proud of that moment when I did finally locate it and was able to document it. So here I am, roughly 7 years later, once again documenting it. Now I have visual of it that I can leave behind in case that chain of information gets broken. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this and you can see the significance of it historically, my story, and moving forward, how important it is to remember things like this. And thank God there were good people alive back then to do the right thing. Alright, I'm out of here. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Until next time, enjoy your Not Thursday.